Good morning. It is just before 5:30 on this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Tucker. Jennifer Daniels has the morning off, as does Rob Bradley, and I'll get to your top news in just a moment. But first, let me tell you a little bit about what's happening with our weather. Temperatures across the valley right now shape up like this. Thousand Palms checking in at 81 this morning, as does Desert Hot Springs. Cathedral City 80, Palm Springs 83, Palm Desert 82, and the same in La Quinta. Indio checking in at 83 this morning. Now, we do expect some pretty significant wind activity across the valley that will be kicking in a little bit later on this afternoon, and the winds will continue to blow through much of the weekend, and I'll have more details on that and a look at the 7-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Well, both the Riverside County Sheriff's Department and the Coachella Valley Unified School District are investigating a possible attempted child abduction. Officials say it happened in Thermal around 6 o'clock Monday night. A Spanish-speaking man driving a gray van approached a student from John Kelly Elementary School as the child walked home with a parent from an after-school program. They say the boy was walking ahead of the parent when the man tried to lure the child into the van. The boy ran, and the parent then called police. CVUSD officials say the gray van has been spotted in the area in the past. Now, schools in the district notified parents using a phone message about the incident. The district is urging parents to tell their children not to speak to strangers. A teacher from Palm Springs High School accused of molesting a student is expected back in court today. 42-year-old Ronald Bishop is charged with 9 counts of child molestation. He has a preliminary hearing scheduled for this morning in Indio. Police arrested the Indio resident last year after the parents of a 15-year-old student contacted police. Investigators say Bishop sent the teen boy inappropriate text messages during a 2-month period. The Palm Springs Unified School District has placed Bishop on paid administrative leave. A Palm Desert man is accused of breaking into a home and stealing credit cards. Police say 28-year-old Nathan Ainsworth was arrested earlier this week in connection with a burglary that happened last weekend at a home in the 43,000 block of Cook Street in Palm Desert. Officers say Ainsworth broke into the home and took a purse. They say he then used the victim's credit cards at several businesses. Ainsworth now faces a number of charges, including residential burglary and possession of methamphetamine. A pool cleaner is recovering this morning after being attacked by a pit bull mix near Temecula. Animal Services officials say the dog bit the man's face, his arm, and his leg. It happened yesterday as the man was cleaning a pool at a home where he has worked a number of times in the past. He says the dog bit him several times as he wrestled to free himself. After more than a minute, he says he was finally able to run away and jump a fence. Hospital officials described the man's injuries as severe. The owner of the dog turned the animal over to authorities, but it's unclear at this point exactly what will now happen to that pit bull mix. A late-night fire at a home in Indio is under investigation this morning. The blaze broke out just before 10 o'clock last night in the 80,000 block of Columbia Avenue near Madison and Miles. Officials say the blaze began inside a car parked in the garage and then spread, engulfing the garage and destroying the garage. They say the fire also caused some minor damage to the attic, but firefighters were able to stop it from spreading into the rest of the house. The fire was contained in about 30 minutes. Thankfully, no injuries reported. A lot of news out of Cathedral City this morning. First, Riverside County has given preliminary approval for the city to annex nearly 700 acres of undeveloped land west of Thousand Palms. And as CBS Local 2's Natalie Burnell reports, a new city council member was sworn in during the special meeting last night.
Please come forward and be prepared to be sworn in.
Cathedral City Council has a new member, Planning Commissioner John Aguilar.
He is the perfect candidate to be able to fill out this term.
A term that will only last a few weeks. Just 3 meetings are scheduled before the newly elected council members are sworn in December 2nd, filling seats vacated by Chuck Vasquez and Sam Tolles. But at issue was how the city would conduct business with just 3 members until then, especially if a member couldn't attend a meeting. In the coming weeks, the council is set to vote on important issues, including the food truck ordinance, which requires 4 votes.
I think as a contingency item for a short period of time, I think it's the prudent thing to do.
Aguilar was nominated by Councilmember Stan Henry and unanimously appointed. Although Mayor Kathy DeRosa offered her support to Aguilar, she made it clear she didn't think appointing a temporary fourth member was crucial.
It would not have been my wish to see the seat filled. As had been stated a number of times, we have functioned very well as three.
Aguilar is not one of the 7 candidates vying for the 2 council seats this November, but DeRosa says she hopes this brief stint won't be Aguilar's last.
Hopefully in the future, when he has an opportunity to retire, he would make an excellent council member.
I have no plans to run for council. My focus really is going to be on how can I help in the short term.
Also recognized at the meeting, Cathedral City receiving preliminary approval from Riverside County to annex 670 acres west of Thousand Palms. The land is privately owned by developer Bill Messenger, who plans to construct both commercial and residential properties in the area.
The private annexation will bring great benefit to the city by providing new development in the city and generating sales tax revenue, and with hotels it would generate transient occupancy tax revenue.
Natalie Brunel, CBS Local 2 News, Cathedral City.
Now here's a map of the land to be annexed. The area is located north of Interstate 10 along Varner Road, east of Duval Drive and west of Rio del Sol. The annexation should become final sometime within the next 60 days. In La Quinta, city council and mayoral candidates squared off last night in a candidates forum. The candidates event was held at the La Quinta Chamber of Commerce, moderated by CBS Local 2's Chris Long. It presented an opportunity for the 3 candidates for mayor and the 9 city council candidates to lay out their positions on key issues. Actually, it appears as though it took place at City Hall in La Quinta. They also answered questions submitted through the chamber. Among the hot topics discussed, the idea of expanding Silver Rock to include new restaurants and hotels. The candidates also agreed the city needs to be a leader when it comes to efforts aimed at restoring the Salton Sea. The Annenberg Estate in Rancho Mirage, which has served as a retreat for several U.S. presidents, is back open for the season. Sunnylands has been mostly closed since July, but officially reopened yesterday morning. The estate was built in the 1960s for Ambassador Walter Annenberg and his wife Leonore. The estate has hosted presidents, foreign heads of state, Supreme Court justices, and celebrities. Beginning next month, there will be guided garden tours and bird walks, films on the lawn, and a Dia de los Muertos exhibit and celebration. The grounds will also host earthquake preparedness training during the Great American Shakeout, which is set for October 16th. The time now is 5:36. I'll be right back with a look at today's weather. You're watching CBS Local 2 This Morning. We stand for you.
Now, your hour-by-hour weather forecast.
All right, Rob Bradley is working night side tonight, so I'm handling weather duties this morning at 5:39 on this Friday morning. The word for this weekend will be winds. I'll tell you the details on that in just a second, but let me tell you the details on current temperatures around the valley at this hour. Cathedral City checking in at 79 this morning, Thousand Palms 80, the same in Desert Hot Springs, 83 in Palm Springs, 82 in Palm Desert. That's the case in La Quinta as well, 82 and 83 in Indio. Right now, at this time this morning, it feels a little bit warmer than it was compared to this same period yesterday morning, and that could be a direct function of the dew points right now. Cathedral City 69, Thousand Palms double sixes, 71 in Palm Desert, 73 in Indio. Now, as I mentioned, the thing that we have to be watching out for later this afternoon and this weekend will be winds. The National Weather Service has issued an advisory, a wind advisory, which kicks in today at 1 o'clock for much of the valley, and that advisory will last through Sunday morning at 4. In some areas, we could see wind gusts anywhere from 25 to 35 miles an hour, all the way up to 55 in some areas. So be on the lookout for that, especially if you're going to be out driving on Interstate 10. and for drivers of high-profile vehicles, be extra careful as well. 7-day forecast shapes up like this. A warm day today, but really a nice day. High temperatures around the desert in triple-digit range, even 100 there. Overnight low temperatures very comfortable in the mid to upper 60s. And despite the winds that we'll be experiencing through the weekend, really a comfortable weekend when it comes to temperatures. And the start of the week, Monday, Tuesday, looks relatively pleasant as well, with the daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. So just watch out for the wind over the weekend if you're going to be out and about. Time for a quick break. We'll have more coming up after this, including a look at how California wineries are dealing with the extreme drought. You're watching CBS Local 2 this morning.